right. We are live for the lunch break episode 9. Welcome everyone and thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. I'm in the Noble Hotel in Atlanta right now. I just ordered in-room dining for breakfast. I'm in my cozy little robe that they gave me. I have this banana Foster French toast. Traditionally, with banana Foster, it's supposed to be flambéed. The bananas are supposed to be flambéed and everything. It doesn't look that way. But my comments on this hotel, we're just going to save that for the end. Along with mixed berry fruits right here and fresh squeezed orange juice. So let's just kind of get into it for today. I'm on episode number 9, right? And what I keep reminding myself is like I'm still at the start. Even though my first episode was about 7-8 months ago, this is all my start. This is all my beginning to my journey to where I'm trying to go. And quick context, right? I was listening to one of my favorite artists yesterday, Kevin Gates, and I was listening to his early stuff, his early music, and I was just thinking to myself, man, I miss this Gates, right? It's like some of the most emotional, some of the most raw stuff, and that was his start. You know, it wasn't all about the flashy clothes and things of that nature because he just started coming into fruition with all that things. Like it just started happening for him. Another one of my favorite artists, Drake, I listened to his early stuff just for that same feeling. Like their start, you know? And everyone's start is different, but it's something that's so raw and natural in those beginning stages that I don't know, it seems like the most beautiful part of a career. How does that relate, right? Okay, so a lot of people now are either trying to start, maybe haven't started, thinking about starting, and what gets a lot of people is they want their start to look like someone else's. So they're afraid to get into it because they're saying, oh, it's not going to look that good. And when I reflect back to when I first started making content, was I in a Noble Hotel in Atlanta? No. I was at a free 2nd Street Festival in my hometown. And here's a little secret for you. I actually had more money then than right now. Crazy, right? But for that period of time where I was just figuring out how to do content, that was my beginning. Into just that, learning how to do content. Now, this is the beginning of something different because at that time I hadn't gone into YouTube yet. I just was starting to post pictures again and try to get back into Instagram because I wasn't even on Instagram for real. Like, of course I had a profile, but I took all my pictures off. I was, like anyone else. I compared myself to other people's final product. I know it sounds so cliche, but you really can't do that. You really have to go into your own journey because you never really know how your start is going to be. To everyone else, I'm still in my beginning phase. And I tell myself that, like, even though I'm a year or whatever in, maybe 2 now going into this year, 2 years into this, I'm still at the beginning stage. And most people's beginning stage doesn't look like this. I've already went to the Ritz-Carlton and done episodes there. I've already been in Cancun and did episodes there. I, I've been around in different places. I've done what was it? An episode in DC in that Ritz Carlton. So I've been to a couple of different Ritz Carltons, couple of different experiences. And this is all the beginning. This is all before my 10th episode. For some people, doing something like this, it'll take their 100th episode, their $100,000 made or millionth dollar made. I'm staying in the same hotel as Allen fucking Iverson. I hope I can catch him, by the way. Hold on, y'all. I gotta take a bite of this. That's all just to say that, like, you never really know what your beginning's gonna look like. So you gotta just start. You gotta just get out there. You gotta learn. I'm currently in the process of trying to build a team around this, having better production and things of that nature, just improving and elevating so that way it can be to that mainstream level. But if I don't do this, it'll never get there because I have to constantly do the work and improve for it even to make it to something that's mainstream. I've been watching a lot of just I'm gonna say content, a lot of content on celebrities come up, right? And how they got into the industry, their whole background story and everything. And everyone's is so different. But there's one thing that everyone has in common, right? That beginning is where the branding for their whole whatever it is, their whole brand, really, the foundation of their brand started out in the beginning. They were either around people that would help them out later, or they were in experiences that would come around to be full circle and give them an opportunity that put them on. That is what we should be chasing, not perfection on Instagram. Comparison is the thief of joy. And everyone seems to want to compare where they are to wherever their best superstar is or wherever they're fans of, right? Another thing that leads into negativity. Why does that lead into negativity? So, because so many people are idolizing these people that have already went through their journey and made it, and they're at their point now to where they're comfortable. The people that didn't see that growth and they only see that final product, they want to get there by any means necessary, even if it means being negative, even if it means that the way that they got to get there is by tearing other people down or just being, to me, ungodly. That's not the way. I watched the interview and it was of the CEO of Zeus. Great guy. Seems like a great guy, at least. I don't really know him. But he had very interesting perspective. And of course, it was by DJ Academics, Off the Record podcast, by the way. And a lot of people don't like him as well. But he had an interesting take. He always plays devil advocate for these people and let them know the negative side of what they're doing. So he asks a question. He says, well, has it ever, came to you that maybe you're portraying this negative image on a certain group of people to make it, or to be something, to be where you are. And his point was, well, everyone else is doing it. This is what the blueprint that I had to go by. So why can't I do it? Why do y'all hate me because I'm doing it? And I think psychologically, as Black people, here's what we do. We don't hate when somebody becomes great. We hate when somebody becomes great in not a great way. So here's how I feel. I feel like on one hand, you have people that love the lifestyle, which is very sinful and still negative, and bypass all that other stuff. And then you have the other people that look past that and see what he did. And this is what a lot of people are doing. They are going against their morals and principles to be that final product, because they don't want to put the work in. They don't want to have that beginning phase and build a brand. Everyone wants to just market. Marketing and branding are two different things. And of course, I'm not saying Illuminati stuff isn't real, and you know, that's not a thing, whatever the case may be, if you're a conspiracy theorist. There are genuine people that make it and have an impact and do it the right way. That is still possible. Here's the key to that though. As a fan, you have to be able to call people out on their stuff. As someone that wants to be that, you have to realize what your principles and morals are, so that way you don't go against that and be the same person. For me, I've come to the realization that majority of people will flock towards negativity. That if I were to post something negative, which I have before, and it's inexcusable, but when you post something negative, it gets more engagement. And when I did that, I felt low. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like this was a part of my brand that I had put so much effort into trying to build. This wasn't me. But I came to that realization that most people are going to flock toward negativity. So I'm building my platform based on positivity, based on changing the culture, even if it's not the majority of the culture. As long as it's some. Because I believe social media should be used for positivity. I believe that the next generation should have positive role models to look up to. Not unmarried baby mamas, not fake street niggas that snitching or whatever the case may be, or real killers even. That's not something to look up to. I don't care about a baddie fighting in a house full of women. That's not something to look up to. And you have thousands of people trying to be that. Because we've built a whole media based on negativity. And we have people thinking that you get to this final product by being negative. That's the mess we've created. Going back to academics, he built his platform of being negative. In the news of all these people, and what I call it being messy. He interviewed another person, 1090 Jake, great interview. And Again, I see what these people are trying to do, and I get it. So my goal isn't to tear these people down, right? They have their platform much bigger than mine. Whatever I say, it won't even tear down what they're doing. I have a problem with that being the example set for people that's trying to come up in the world. I have a problem with that being the role model for if I want to have a kid right now, that's who they got to look up to. A scammer, a prisoner, a drug dealer. That's what I have a problem with. And I've done things. I speak about my story on how I had to turn myself in. But I get it. Like, I come from the hood, guys. If you haven't watched my last episode, it was with my mom, and great episode, by the way. But I get it. Like, I'm not some bougie kid that was in a white picket fence, guys. I've sold pounds. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, toting guns, whipping guns out on people, all of that. But let me tell you something. I never did none of that on camera. I never, ever portrayed any of that on camera. In camera, I'm Superman. On camera, I'm something to look up to. Why? Because there's people that I love that are going to see this and get inspired by it. All of this that you see, every episode that you've seen, and I have testimonies. That's why I said, go back and watch my last episode, or even my first episode with Brittany K, my first guest episode with Brittany K. I inspire people through positivity. Most of these people don't know that I did all this stuff. I was a mess. Hooked out on drugs. I was addicted to lean. I mean, weed is an addiction. Most people don't count it as that, but it is an addiction. But the lean was pretty bad for me. I've been there. Liking confrontation from people. I've been there. But never on camera. So I'm not here to judge somebody on their bad decisions. That's ungodly. Judge not, and thou shalt not be judged. Condemn not, and thou shalt not be condemned. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to ask you and suggest, can we build a positive platform for the kids? Can we build a positive platform for those wanting to be something in life? Going from check to check, struggling by any means to just get to that dream the honest way? Can we build a positive platform for that? For those, to give those people hope? Instead of them feeling like they have to sell their soul to be something? Would that be possible? Or do y'all like how it is now? Fights, spitting on people, peeing on people, sex trafficking. What's next? Prostitution has become normal. Every other person has OnlyFans linking their, and I'm not telling you to, I'm not asking you for judgment. I'm not telling you because I'm judging you. Get it by any means. I come from that. It's a lot more I can't talk about on this camera, but believe me, I come from that. I'm only asking when it comes to this, going in front of that camera, can we have morals and principles so that way the people looking up to us can have those same morals and principles to build off of? Is that okay? Or at least cut back on some of the negativity? It's like everything that goes viral is negative. It's come to a point where most people don't even want to post their positive shit because they know people aren't going to look. Because at the end of the day, people are going to find something negative in something positive. So you can't even be positive. This is where we've come to. Great podcast with Mace and Cameron. Cameron says, Mace is a great guy. Like, he goes and does these phone calls with kids every day and blocks time out of schedule for that, but never post about it. I would personally love to see that. Hearing about that inspired me to want to do the same. I never watched one full episode, at least, of their podcast. Never. Hearing that made me want to, though. Let me take another bite of this. And I almost forgot. I have a special gift today. Let's call it our first sponsor. But they're not sponsoring us, trust me. This is a gift from someone else. Thank you, by the way. They gifted me this set. It's one of my favorite colognes or scents of all time. It's a Mason Margiela replica by the fireplace. Great for winter, really. But it's rainy outside. I don't know if you can tell. So we're going to set the vibe for this right now. And I'm going to light this candle. This is a great gift. So Mason Margiela, if you wanna send a check, I'm all open to it, man. Shit, all this free marketing. I will be the first to tell you, building a brand is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. Going into business isn't easy. Wherever you want to get to, it's not going to be easy. But at the end of it all, you can have integrity. Because each of us have a consciousness. Whether you believe in God or not, He gave you this, a consciousness. Why? Because you know what's right from wrong. A lot of us just chose to ignore our consciousness for likes, for money, for views. I get it. I want to be famous and rich as the next person. I get it. Am I probably a little bit more blessed than someone else? Probably. I'm sorry, and I cannot help that. I have started what most of you have started at, though. And it really just takes time, effort, love, patience, characteristics that the Bible tells us to have just as a decent human being. You don't have to be Jesus. You don't have to be perfect. But can we look in the mirror at ourselves and be proud of ourselves? Or do you only want to be proud of yourself if there's a monetary value to it? That's when you become proud of yourself. I'm going to enjoy this. This was a really quick episode today. I have a lot to do today, guys. Quick side note, actually, because I did want to talk about this hotel. As I stated, I'm in the Nobu Hotel, right? Atlanta, one of my favorite places. And I really wanted to be a fan of the Nobu experiences. I've been to a couple of restaurants. This was my first experience in the hotel. I'm never one to complain about a price when it comes to luxury things because typically, you pay what you get for it. You know what I mean? Like if you're paying for luxury, you get luxury. I feel like here I'm only paying for aesthetics and genuinely paying for the name. Um, Most of the food, well, like I said, we've had the Noble restaurant, but only for dinner. So I know that's going to be pretty good. I'm still a fan of that. But as far as a breakfast, I'm not. I'm not a fan. Um, Room looks pretty good. You gave us one ply toilet paper. Um, with like, what the fuck are you thinking? Um, it's the TV works sometimes, kind of doesn't. You gotta like do a lot with it. It's just a bunch of minor things. Like I don't know, for this to be such a high scale place, I expected more. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm usually not one of those people to be like that. Um, Ritz Carlton is still up here for me as the best hotel. Um, just off experience, food, how everyone treated me. Everyone here is pretty nice. I don't know. It's just something about it that I feel like I'm being ripped off. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I said, I don't usually complain about prices. I know when you go to certain places, it's not going to be like a huge buffet of shit, but I just expected a little bit more, like fresher ingredients. Um, you know, it, I don't know. It could be just me, guys, but that's just my whole take on Nobu. Um, gonna try to enjoy the rest of my time here in this beautiful city that I would love to call home. And yeah, that'll be it. I love you guys. I hope you received today's message positively. Please, I hope you take it positively because that is what every episode, that is my intention to be positive. There is a positive message to find. Um, and that'll be it. All right, y'all. I might just call and catch a play. I might just come see you.